T-Bone, I've been at Trestles the last 3 days, and it's been pretty good. Like, I'd almost say it was better than West Oz in the finals.
No, 100% agree. Hey, mate, just want to say thanks a lot for doing those clips because as someone pointed out to me, not many people do these clips all the pre-event warm-ups. So I've been loving it. I mean, Trestles, it just looks such a fun wave. And the last three clips, just super fun, mate. So thanks for pumping out those clips.
My pleasure. And man, I have a good time doing it and seeing the action live and filming it. It's a lot of fun for me, and it's something I enjoy doing. And I would say, T-Bone, I also got kind of a backstage look at the preview of what's happening, and we're going to jump into that in a few minutes. I want to also in this show let you know we're going to do the surf forecast, and we're going to talk about some of the matchups. But this show is not the fantasy picks. We're going to do that in a separate show. It'll be a shorter show. This is the show where T-Bone and I get to chat. So if you're into that, hang out with us, talk a little bit of surf, and of course, there'll be chapters and comments for you to get involved down below. So, T-Bone, who was your standout of everything you've seen? And if you guys don't know, there's 3 videos on this channel from Trestles the last 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when I was down there. Anyone like really stand out to you?
What was really noticeable, especially maybe that first, second clip, you had everyone surfing, and then you had Griffin Colapinto. It just was connecting with the waves so much better than everyone else, including his brother. So he just looked in sync. I mean, it's his local break. So Griff really stood out. And then there was a fair bit of Ethan in there, so it's hard not to say Ethan. So
yeah.
It just looks like Ethan's just reacquainting himself with Trestles. And, you know, I had a bit of a look back at his past scores, and, you know, during the final series, I don't think he dropped under 17 points in a heat. I think maybe once. So
yeah,
Ethan and Griffin for me, and also some young grommet with a Trestles, or was a O'Neill or a Hurley sticker up on the nose.
Yeah, it's O'Neill. God, I want to just throw that kid's name out. Lucas Ostin is a ripper. He's, I think, 19 or 20. And if that kid got a wild card, he would do some damage. Like, that kid is polished, dude.
He is.
Yeah, who knows? We don't know who the wild card is, and we're going to get into all that. I have a feeling we're also going to talk about the GOAT in this video based on our last video. And T-Bone, I have 2 announcements. I have 2 things I want to say. The first one is I have to thank everyone. I've had this channel for a little more than 4 years, and we just surpassed 5,000 subscribers. Really appreciate all of you. Man, I love doing this, and I found out like there's 5,000 other people who like to talk surf, and hey, we're, you know, welcome to have 5,000 more. So appreciate you joining us. And T-Bone, I still have the first Current Surf Show that we did before it was Current Surf Show. We're going to have to go back and look at that in a future video. But the next thing I want to talk about, you're going to like this, T-Bone. It's about the Fantasy League. And the winner of the last fantasy event was Mateus Guilherme MG. Congratulations. And on what we call the first page in my fantasy league, that's the first 20 people. There's a little more than 700 people in our league. And some of those standouts, dude, Luke Hadrian, he's been around forever, and it's good to see you on the front page. Also, Lipe's in there, and shout out to Dill. Dude, Dill, who we're going to get into with stats, Dill is now showing that his stats work, and he's on the top of, not on the top, he's on, I think he's number 20, but just being on the front page, T-Bone, is an incredible feat.
It is, mate. It, like, I must admit, the Old Surf Dad League is like the CT, you know, to make the first page is like making the cut and some, you know. So
I think it's making the final 5, dude.
Whoa.
I'm below the cut. You, my friend, are above the cut. You're having a good year. Tell me do you know what place you're in? I don't know. We're in another league that's a paid league, that's a bet league, and I think you're leading that one. It's called the Shark League. It is closed,
I'm
by the
not.
way.
I'm not leading it, mate. I came
Ah,
second. I came second in the last event, and I'm fifth overall.
wow.
And I'm overall 79th in the OSD league. What are you, mate? Overall, do you remember?
You're 79th in the OSD league?
Overall,
Wow, that is really good. I'm like 400,
are you
and I
kidding me?
think I'm not. I
You
looked, and
kook. You
it's
kook.
embarrassing. I thought I had done better. I actually didn't have a bad run in West Oz. I was kind of middle of the pack. I'm slightly above middle, but the thing that killed me was just like you was, power surfing Jack. If I'd only
Yeah.
power surfed my other tier A pick, which was Jordy.
Mm.
But we're going
Yep.
to get into all of that. The first thing I want to do, T-Bone, is I want to jump into the surf forecast. So
Do it.
let's have a look at that. And here we go. So just to give a little bit of context, the last 3 days, in particular, Monday, Surfline was calling the Monday video. And again, I'll have links down below. The Monday video, they were calling that 6 to 8. And then the next 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, they were calling 5 to 7. So to give you a rate of comparison, today they're calling 4 to 6. Now, let me move the slider over to Monday. So the first day of the waiting period, you're looking at it right there.
So what's
Is
that? The
for,
9th of June.
that's the 9th of June is the first day of the waiting period. Obviously California time, and they're calling it 4 to 5 feet. And they have the little green bars down there,
Mm-hmm.
indicating a fair to good, I believe is what that is, or it's just fair. But there's a prediction for a little bit of possible south wind, which is sort of a devil wind on it. If it's more of a north wind, it's still clean on the face, and we had some of that on yesterday, as a matter of fact. But it still looked pretty clean. But there's your surf forecast, so that's something to keep in mind as we make our picks. The good news, T-Bone, is we've seen Trestles with a forecast with 2 to 3 in there, and there's
Mm-hmm.
not a 2 to 3 to be seen in that first week.
That's good.
So
That's good. I'm just reading in the notes here in
yeah,
Surfline. A recent storm activity near New Zealand put up an impressive peak seas above the model guidance. It sets up a nice round, a long period southwest swell for the 9th to the 11th.
that's perfect,
So
man.
hopefully, yeah, mate. Hopefully the first couple of days kicks off. Trestles looks like it's still fun, even if it's got a little bit of onshore wind on it. It still looks really fun and rippable.
Yeah, I hate to use the word contestable, the overused word contestable, but I certainly think, and remember, we have less surfers here. We could finish this event in 3 days, dude. I mean,
Mm.
it could be in and out here. There is that Saturday and Sunday at the end of the week, that first week, that looks to be a little bigger, but I think they're going to they're going to look at it in the morning and make a decision. If it's good, they're not going to walk away from it. And
Yep.
speaking of that, just like T-Bone was on the beach giving the surf check every morning, I'm going to be doing the same thing at Trestles starting Monday morning. I will be there bright and early at Sparrows, mate. And
Oh, mate. We'll have
yeah,
to
that
work out
is.
what time that is for me.
I think
But I
we
think it's
talked
not bad.
about it. Yeah, I
It's my
think it's
evening.
night. It's nighttime for you, 8:30 or 9, something like this. But we'll work that out, and I'll put in the notes. So those of you in Sydney, it'll be evening, and then here in California, obviously, it's going to be super early. It'll be 6 in the morning. We'll probably get going. So I'll do a morning surf check, and then yeah, as soon as the event starts, it'll start. And if you're following the Current Surf Show on Instagram, there'll be updates all day. We'll do interviews. We'll do some video of what's going on in the scene. So we'll cover it all on the Current Surf Show, and that's on the Instagram account. And
Hey, dude,
T-Bone, yeah.
just with this surf report, you'll have a coffee in your hand, and I'll have a beer in my hand. Hey, that's the beauty about us on different time zones.
That'll
My
be the
my comments and remarks may be a little bit, I don't know, M to R rated. I don't know, but I better tone myself down, right?
Hey, we run it loose on this show. You certainly can do that, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
So,
The only thing you have to do is run it from your end. Is be able to change the different images and things like that as we go. But I
all
trust
right.
you can. You've handled it before in the past and when we've done this. So, hey,
It's like you're the Jedi Knight and I'm the apprentice. So I'm sure I'll learn.
no, you know how to do this, man. You run it. You ran the show when we were in Portugal. I did the same thing, and it was one of our
True.
better shows. I can't wait. And we'll try to talk to some surfers or whatever. You know, they're going to be preparing for the day, but you know, there's always all kinds of things happening down at Trestles. The one other thing I want to say is the tide will make a bit of a difference, pushing tide better. But I noticed, and a lot of people are talking about it in the comments, that there's a lot of sand missing. And this has been a problem in Southern California beaches, particularly in Orange County. And the wave just isn't as clean a wall as it has been in the past. And you notice it's a little more sectiony, it's a little more warbly, and that may have had something to do with the little northwest bit of swell in it. I'm sure a local can chime in the comments below and sort me out, but that feels like what's happening. So keep that in mind because I think there'll be some sections. And we saw that in those videos as who can bang a section.
Sorry, mate. Are you saying there's not enough sand or too much sand?
Oh, good, good. I'm glad you asked that. There's not enough sand. One of the things that's
Right.
happened over the years is the sand's been depleted, and that has a lot to do with. I'm not going to get into full environmental impact, but I think there's a river that's been blocked that doesn't let enough sand out and things of that. And again, if somebody knows better, tell us in the comments, and that'll help everybody out. I rely on my experts out there, as well as the research that we do. Hey, T-Bone, let's jump into some matchups, man.
Sure, man.
Let's pull this up. So I have the men's up, so we'll start with the men's. I think we just go through it real quickly. And again, I'm going to read them off for those in the podcast, and we'll be making our picks next in the next video, and there'll be a link to that at the end and in the description below. So I'm going to rattle them off real quick, and you just tell me who you think's going to win. First heat, Kanoa Igarashi, Rio Aida, and Cole Hausman.
I might go Kanoa.
I like that pick. I'm thinking I'm going to go pick Cole. 59% say Kanoa. Next is Heat 2, Yagadora, Connor O'Leary, Alejo Muniz.
I reckon. Oh, you have to say Yago. Just got that added dimension.
84%. And while we go through this, I'm just going to tell you who I've seen surf and how they're surfing. Kanoa I saw going to the beach as I was leaving. Have not seen him except for one day going to the beach. Rio Aida, haven't seen it all. Cole Hausman, he's in the video. He's surfing great. I would say he's surfing outstanding for as big a guy as he is. He's surfing small waves really well too. Haven't seen Connor or Alejo, but Yagodora, as you'll see in the video, is all over it, and he's surfing. I think he's surfing as good as, like it's a Brazilian beach break. Heat 3, Elo, Marco, and event seed number 3, which we do not know yet. Who you going to say is going to win there, T-Bone?
Well, just with Idolo's track record, it's hard not to say Idolo. So I'll go him. I think he'll come out all guns blazing.
Yeah, it's not letting me pick because the event seed's not in there, but I think overwhelmingly people are going to agree. He was second in the finals. That's the last time he competed there, and he looked pretty unstoppable. I mean, an argument could be made that he beat John, but if it wasn't for that turn that John did that pretty much destroyed that portion of the ocean in San Clemente, Elo would have won that heat. So we don't know if the event seed number 23 is Kelly or not, but Kelly's either going to be in the heat with Marco and Elo, or he's going to be in this next heat with Jordy and Crosby.
That'd be fun heat.
It would be a fun heat. I would think he would be the number 23 seed, and then the next seed would be the number 24 seed. But I wonder if Kelly gets to pick. How fun would that be? And if he took the Jordy Crosby, oh man, that would be great.
That'd be awesome.
I would, and in that one, I would pick Jordy to win Heat 4, Jordy Crosby, and depending on if Kelly's in there. You know what? We're gonna stop right now. Let's talk about Kelly real quickly.
Have you had any goat sightings?
Let's say that I missed the goat by a few minutes. I left and the goat showed up. And I think he's still pissed off about the shit you were talking about him in our last video. Link in the description. No, I think that there have been goat sightings, T-Bone, and there is a video out. My friend Hayden Garfield, I'll put that in the description as well. There's a 3-minute video. You've probably seen it by now. It's got a ton of views. And it's basically Kelly surfing pretty good sized trestles. That's that first day. They're calling 6 to 8. It's well overhead. And what'd you think about Kelly surfing, T-Bone?
I don't think I've seen that clip, but I watched him surf trestle. No, sorry, I don't know if it's Snapper.
It's a new clip. It just came out 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. Hey, looks great.
Go ahead.
It looks great, but is it on that really short board? It looks like a 5.2 or a 5.3.
So
looks really short.
Yeah, we should say that there's two clips out there. One clip is he's at Superbank and he's surfing a little teeny skateboard, but then he switches halfway through and he's surfing a regular shortboard. And that clip at Superbanks is worth watching. That's about a week and a half old. And I'll put that in the description as well. And that particular clip, you can see Kelly looks good in the water. In the one in Trestles, he looks good as well. It's mostly just pieces of clips, but he's T-Bone. He's doing airs. He's doing beautiful cutbacks. And if you saw on my videos, Taylor Knox is in there. Just everyone's going crazy about the flow and the creativity that Taylor Knox brings to Trestles. And Kelly brought some of his own. Like, there's none of that. God, dude, it was so heartbreaking to watch all the new generation kids doing these triple, double pump, like bottom turns and setups and all this. And there was no flow to it. It was janky. And it was a breath of fresh air to watch Taylor Knox. And then I realized when I watched Kelly, I was like, wow. And we questioned his wild card. We did in our last video. And now I'm starting to rethink it, dude. I'm wondering if I'm going to pick him for the Tier C. We'll get there in a minute.
Yeah. He's got pretty good stats at Trestles, let's face it. He's won Trestles 6 times. Last time in 2012.
A decade ago. Yeah.
I know. I mean, how far can you go back?
Exactly.
Are you going to pick him based on his record at Trestles? It wasn't like last couple of years. It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, man. But anyway, let's move on. What do you guys think in the comments below? Are you picking Kelly as your Tier C wildcard pick? I'm thinking about it. We'll see in the picks. That's coming up next. And when I say next video, as I've said about 3 times already. All right, Heat 5, Baron Mamiya, Jake Marshall, Seth Moniz. I'm going to take Jake Marshall, and he's leading at 65%. Baron's had a few good waves out there. I've seen Baron surf out there. He looks silky smooth. He's kind of playing around with it. He wasn't there on the bigger day. I just missed Jake. Jake was just paddling out as I was leaving as well. And Jake seemed in good spirits, had a quiver of boards on the beach. And he was stoked to surf Trestles. So there you go. Heat 6, Ethan Ewing. Check out this heat, dude. This is a crazy
This is the heat of the round.
This is definitely the heat of the round. Ethan Ewing, Griffin Colapinto, and Joel Vaughn. I've seen all 3 of them surf, and they're all in the videos that I made. Who would you pick to win that heat, T-Bone?
I'm going to go the local lad. It's so tough, Griffin and Ethan. But
It is.
Joel Vaughan can pull out
Dude.
he could be the boogeyman of the heat.
Dude, he
Uh,
is
uh,
no slouch. Let me tell you, when he
I'll go
did get a
Griffin.
wave, he was. I would go Griffin too. I'm gonna pick that, and he's at 58%. Ethan Ewing at 41%. Poor Jovan. 1% of you out there are backing him. I would say it should be higher. I'm thinking about. He's in Tier C. I'm thinking about it, but Joel Vaughn got a hold of a couple of waves and hit it straight up and down. His game is subtle, but let's talk about who's not subtle. Ethan Ewing is absolutely rail surfing power if you watch those videos. But Griffin kind of ties it all together with the flow between turns, and he's giving you everything, man. Did you see that backside air in that video?
Was that your second video or the?
I think it was in the second video. Now, dude, it's all confusing. He did a backside air on on the left, obviously, and he hit it just right and just landed in the whitewater, disappears, and then comes like kind of weaseling out of it. And it was, I mean, it would have been an excellent score. And then the hard part is you got to compare that to Ethan's rail game, you know?
Yeah. You know
So
what the point
judges
of
going to have
difference
their
is,
work
mate?
out. What's
The
that?
point of difference. The point of difference at Trestles is that last sort of ending maneuver. You know how Ethan totally obliterates the face of the wave and spray, lands on the rail track. Oh, dog's barking.
It's all
Or
good.
or Griffin can get quite creative and go to the air.
I kind of feel like it's gonna depend on the wave and who has the more explosive maneuver at the end, whether that be Ethan. Ethan bashed a couple that just, I mean, looked like an explosion. And then, a little spinner's not going to do it. Griffin's going to do something dramatic as well. So I can't wait to see that heat. That is a heat of the round. Next heat is not bad. All Brazilian, Heat 7, Felipe Toledo, Miguel Pupo, Joao Chianca. I have not seen Felipe at all at his local break. It seems strange to me. Nor have I seen Miguel Pupo, but Joao Chianca, dude. And by the way, my videos are made from 5:30 a.m. to 1:30 roughly every day. And Joao Chianca and Ethan Ewing are there every morning. They're the first ones there. And Joao has been surfing really well. And remember, he's got some results in the finals. He's been to the finals
Yep.
twice, and
Yep.
he looks pretty good to me. Is he going to beat Felipe? I don't know. I think Felipe could sleep in every day and go down there on event day and do well. He's got it that wired.
Yep.
Who do you like in that heat? I'm guessing Felipe.
Yeah, Phil, all day long.
Phil, 92%, 4%, 4% for the other two. This one's interesting. Jack
It is
Robinson,
another good
Leonardo Fioravanti, Alan Cleland. Let's just be honest about this. The elephant in the room. Jack has never really performed well at Trestles. Is this his year?
Oh, well, I mean, if you look at those three, I don't see anything that Jack can't do that Leo and Al can do. Like, I think it's not a Phil Toledo, it's not an Italo in that heat. I think Jack can win this heat, but it's going to be a tight one. I mean, Leo's super consistent this year, so who knows, mate? But I'm going Robbo.
Yeah, let's just pick Robbo and see what happens. 57% believe Robbo can do it, and well, it just went to 56 right when I said that. Leo's been surfing pretty well out there. Haven't seen Al Cleland at all, but again, a lot of these surfers may be surfing in the evening when I'm already gone. But I've got nothing to report. I did like Leo's throwing in airs, and one last thing I wanted to say about the videos is that some surfers use those pre-sessions as warm-ups in the sense of honing their skill or polishing their performance, while other surfers just use it as a free-for-all, just throwing airs and doing crazy shit. And I think Crosby was doing a lot of that, and I think Leonardo was doing a lot of that too. Just kind of screwing around, messing around, and trying to improve in certain areas and try new tricks and getting ready for the event itself. So I've a lot of times judged what I see in a pre-surf and applied that to my fantasy picks, and it's not always been successful. So just give you guys that warning. Let's go to the women's, T-Bone. Any thoughts on what I just threw out there?
No, it's interesting. Like I think surfers do mainly just hone in their surfboards because they've just come from Oz, especially Margaret River. They want to get back on those more high performance. But I did notice Leo trying to throw a couple of airs in. So I think he knows he needs to land a couple to go deep in this contest.
Yeah, and I think he's got that air game for sure. I mean, Leo's an interesting combination, sort of whereas Griffin has all of those weapons, Leo does too, but I think is a little more power based. What's your thought on that?
No, for sure. I mean, Leo is, yeah. I mean, I think he's got it all. Mate, his rail surfing is pretty underrated. I think he's
I
having a
agree.
cracker of a year.
He sure is. He looked great. I mean, he's looked great at pretty much every event and just come up short a couple times. And I think you could say that about a lot of his career. And it's too bad because he's a better surfer, I think, than sometimes he ranks. Let's go into Heat 1. This is the women's. So Heat 1 is Isabella Nichols. And there's only 4 heats, T-Bone. 4 heats in the women's. And it goes, dude, it's like elimination round straight into quarters, which is crazy. Yep. And we'll get into that in a moment. Heat 1, Isabella Nichols, Tyler Wright, Lakey Peterson. I want to talk about 2 of those. Isabella Nichols showed up yesterday. I had a quick chat with her. And I know that a lot of those coming from Australia and Hawaii are jet lagged. And I know they're just getting their feet in the wax, as Joe likes to say. God, I will never use that cliche again. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I said that. But anyway, Isabella Nichols, dude, she had like a stitches just above her eye. I guess she got hit with a fin in Sydney at the wave pool. So she's been training in the wave pool. And she had one surf I've seen. It was okay. It wasn't typical Isabella Nichols. But I tell you who stood out in this heat was Lakey Peterson, is absolutely crushing. Have you
Confidence
seen?
is high.
Confidence is high. There's a lot of comments about her style, and you can be a connoisseur and judge all you want, but the WSL judges are going to look at that spray that she's throwing, and she a couple times yesterday put together a series of maneuvers that I think would have been excellent scores. And she's gotten better over the last 3 days, and that could go back to the jet lag thing. But she surfed so well yesterday, and I saw her trying different fins on her surfboard, and I think she's kind of got it dialed, dude. And then Tyler, I haven't seen it all. Dude, I would tell you, I'm going to pick Lakey Peterson in Tier B just for the local factor, and she's getting 49% for those out there at this moment. Any thoughts? Who would you pick in that heat to win?
I echo you entirely, mate. Lakey, and I think it's the ponytail that gets people. It's just how that ponytail just gets flicked around a bit. But
Betty Lou does that too.
She's got a great style, and her confidence is sky high. She's all in. She's all in. So, and she's surfed Trestles more than any other woman on tour, maybe except Tyler. And she's got a semi-final finish, a long time ago, but
yeah,
she knows she looks good. I just hope it stays head height for her.
I'm gonna question when you said she has a great style. She has an interesting style that's different. Mechanically, you could argue that it's a little jerky, but I will say that as far as experience, dude, I think she has more experience than Tyler just because she surfed contests there when she was younger before CT, for Trestles. So she definitely knows that wave. She feels comfortable there. Her husband was down there with her having surfs, and they were all smiles and having a good time. And it wasn't like
course.
that in everybody's camp. Next, let's go to Heat 2. Gabriella Bryan, Luana Silva, and event seed number 12. I'll just scroll down here for a second. Actually, we do know the other. Okay, so event seed
So
number
Sawyer's a
11.
wild card.
Sawyer is a wild card, and dude, she looks dangerous. We're gonna get there in a second.
Yeah.
I freaking love her surfing right now. But Gabriella Bryan, Luana Silva, and who the hell are they gonna pick for these wild cards? Who's the women's wild card gonna be? Who's the men's wild card gonna be? I want that Lucas Alston guy to be the wild card in the men's. He could beat a couple of people. But in the women's, who are they gonna pick? Everyone's in the CS. I can't imagine who they're going to pull out of their hat right here. But whoever it is has to face Gabriella Bryan and Luana Silva. Obviously, you're going to pick Gabriella Bryan there.
No, I'm not, mate. To be honest with you, I think she looked average. She looked
Really?
very average in your videos. It's just lacking the power and the grunt. I mean, I just think she needs size and grunt for her to really open up. But
I think I can see.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it, mate. I did not
Wow,
like it.
I can see where you're coming from. I will say that it looks like she's almost overpowering the wave. And it's not pushing her back a little bit. And she lost a few maneuvers that the wave didn't push back enough. But she did have a few hits that were vertical. And I hadn't seen her do that before. I enjoyed her surfing. I thought some of those clips were pretty strong, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. So you think Luana Silva, her smooth style and cutties of Luana Silva?
I didn't see Luana in the clips because
Yeah. Sorry. Gabriella Bryan is in the videos from the last 3 days. Luana Silva is not. Haven't seen her at all, which surprised me because Joao's there every morning. She may have stayed in Hawaii, just had a few days at home. Just re-energizing.
Cool.
But yeah, anyway, let's move on. Heat 3. This is insane. Katie Simmers, Betty Lou Sakura Johnson, Sawyer Lindblad, and I haven't seen Katie at all. I heard that she's been surfing in the evenings, but I also know from the experience at the finals that she likes to warm up at home in Oceanside Harbor, and surf some of her local breaks that sort of mirror, it's more beach break, but it has that Southern California feel. So that's what I understand. Haven't seen her at all. I've seen a little bit of Betty Lou, but I've seen Sawyer Lindblad on the two bigger days. And dude, I haven't seen better surfing at Trestles from a female than Sawyer Lindblad. What'd you think about that?
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I mean, going by your clips, mate, Sawyer looks spicy, and I didn't realize that she got a wild card for this event, so I'm all in on Sawyer.
Yeah, I had a feeling she might because I noticed she was showing up, and her brother too was there, Taj Lindblad. He surfs great. He's in that first video where he does that little air and then rides backwards. If you saw that, that's Taj. But yeah, I'm stoked for her that she got that wild card. I also noticed T-Bone yesterday or the day before, Brisa Hennessy was down there. She may be getting that other wild card. Not quite sure yet.
Yeah, okay.
So that could be somebody.
Betty Lou didn't look flashy out there.
No, I sort of agree. And it's weird because Burley to me is like, I mean, Trestles is like a shitty Burley. And you'd think she'd go well, But yeah, I mean, she had a couple of her classic, little pops on the lip. But I just didn't see her in sync yet. Maybe she needs a couple more sessions. And I will say this, dude. Sawyer and Lakey, those two have surfed Trestles a lot, and they also know how to. I mean, that is as tight a crowd, as tough a crowd to get waves. There's 50 homeschooled kids trying to be pro surfers out there, and that's without the local pros surfing. And like you put that crowd together, it's hard to pull a wave out of there. It's insane. Anyway, last one, Heat 4, Molly Picklum, Caroline
What
Marks,
a That's a
Aaron
cracker.
Brooks. Jesus, dude. Haven't seen Molly at all, but obviously I've seen Caroline. She's surfing great. She's doing her thing as she does at Trestles. She's got that backhand snap. I heard some people in the comments, or I read the comments, and not everyone's loving what Caroline's doing, but I am. And Aaron Brooks, dude, has been hot and cold. Like she's either, and I think that kind of sums up her season, right? Sometimes she looks like the Aaron Brooks that is going to win snapper and is going to kill everyone in Fiji. And then sometimes she just, I don't know, gets in the way of herself or I don't know. I think it's all about confidence with Aaron. And I saw her get her confidence late yesterday and start to really crack some sections. But what are your thoughts on this heat? Who do you think's going to win?
Well, mate, I mean, Erin's still young, right? I mean, how old is she? 18, 17?
Exactly. I think she's 17 and maybe just about to turn 18, which,
First year
yeah,
on the CT. So,
absolutely, dude.
she made the cut. Look out. I mean, I thought she looked great in the
Yeah.
video. I think she looked surfing really good. So this is a great heat. I think Marksy will come through. I think Marksy will win this. I think Marksy and Aaron will get through. I'm not feeling Molly Picklum.
Yeah, I'm not either based on her finals performances here. She's never done well here in those two events in her finals. And then the crowd agrees with you with 49% back in Caroline and
There
Aaron
you go.
just ahead of Molly. So, all right, so there you are. Those are the matchups. What else do we need to talk about? What we need to talk about is fantasy. Real quick, T-Bone, I want to say that I put together a video. It's less than 3 minutes, and it explains how fantasy has changed with the cut, what happens next, how the heats work, all of that. I'm going to put that and link in the description below. It'll be released the same time as this video. It'll all be live at the same time, and it's a little explainer video I think you'll enjoy, and it just runs through it. It is old. It's based on, I think I made it last year, and I just cut it out, and nothing has changed in that regard. But the last thing I want to talk about, T-Bone, before we move into our fantasy picks in the next video is SurfMetrics, dude. I can't get enough, and all of you know that there it is, that you can find your event stats, all your event stats. I know you use this, T-Bone. Would you say that
Yep.
that's contributed to your success this year?
100%. Yeah, like I was looking at all those stats before I put my picks in. I'm
Yeah, I tend to look at it as well. Do you use anything in particular? The event stats is great.
I'm really interested in the average heat score and obviously their best results.
Yeah, let me pull
So
this up real quick. Just for fun, men's average heat score. Let's do the top. Let's do Jordy. 14.94 is his average heat score. Griffin 15.14. Those are huge numbers.
look at
Joao
Phil.
14.95. Phil 16.25. He's getting eights as an average heat score through all the rounds that he's served here. Now that
Hey,
goes back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, bud. I was just going to say Kelly Slater 15.54 average heat
Wow.
score.
Yeah. Again, hasn't competed here in years, but that's pretty
That's
gnarly
that's
average heat score. I want to look at this. Let me blow this up just for a second before we get carried away. We'll go to Phil, and if you slide across, here's Felipe's results, dude. Look
Yeah.
at that. First. These are the finals. These two are the finals. This second is when he lost to Gabriel Medina in the
Yeah. Yep.
finals. And
Yep.
then this first is when he and Savannah Lima won in 2017. And how cool is this? You just go over the number and you can see he got equal thirds in 2016, 2015. Now, what I love is you click on Phil and it'll go to Phil's breakdown. There's all his information. Here's how many event wins he has. It's really cool. And then you can also go to season stats and you can see everybody's season stats and their average heat scores and all of that. You'll notice here, for example, this is interesting. Jordy's heat score, average heat score is 12.99, while Elo's is actually 13.27. So nerd alert, we're getting nerdy here, but I just want you to know if you want to deep dive, you can do that at SurfMetrics.app, and Dill does a great job with this. And the last one I'm going to bring up, and you really need to get your nerd senses ready because this is going to go deep. This, my friend, is the heats. And what he's done, I'm going to pull this. I'm going to actually make this smaller. I'm going to go through this really quickly because I'm going to let you guys nerd out on your own. One of the things, T-Bone, that you'll know is the first 4 heats on the left side of the bracket, the second 4 heats on the right side of the bracket, and this is all broken down. And what you can do, let's just do this really quickly. Heat 1, let's take Kanoa. Heat 2, let's take Yago. Heat 3, Elo. Heat 4, Jordy. Heat 5, Jake. Heat 6, Griffin. Heat 7, Felipe. And then Heat 8 will take Leonardo. When you hit submit picks, this thing's called the bracket predictor. I know I'm probably losing half of you right now, but just bear with me. What it does is it takes that and it jams it into the elimination round. And you can use this to predict what the 16 is going to look like. We're going to go through elimination. We're going to just pick some random surfers here. I'm just clicking so we can then get the round of 16. This tells you whether or not you have fantasy friendly fire. This tells you what the matchups will be. This tells you how you can predict what your team will do. Now, you can't just put your team in there. You have to remember only the first round winner goes on to 16, and the others fight it out in the elimination round. It's going to get really nerdy if I keep going, but I'm going to say, like, if you pick in the upper tier A, you want to pick in the upper tier C so that those two don't clash as a general rule. Dude, I just went off the deep end. I hope any of that made sense, T-Bone.
No, it did. I did. Mate.
It's Dill's insane, dude. And this guy's like a proper computer engineer type of, systems analyst. I don't know, computer science project. Like, dude, that's what he does in real life. So to get this kind of work
awesome.
is awesome. I think that's it. Any last thoughts? What did I forget?
No, I think you covered it all, dude. Yeah, let's let's do our fantasy picks, I guess.
All right, we'll see you in the next video for fantasy picks. You.